to the Great Greeks podcast. My name is Elias, and I'm with Maria.
From GreekMyMind.
GreekMyMind.
Nice to see you.
We've been friends for a while now. We've been talking online for a while.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to hang out again.
As every time.
But hanging out with you for so long, I thought I'd invite you on the podcast, have a chat.
Thank you.
We're going to catch up anyway, have a coffee, but we thought we'd talk to Maria about all the stuff that she's doing, all the cool things she's doing, and why she's doing them, what drives her, what inspires her. That's what people want to know. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's see.
So, first of all, I got myself filled a cappuccino.
Yeah.
We're here in, this is Pagrati or Kisariani?
It's like, I think, in the middle, Pagrati, and towards Kisariani, going to Kisariani.
On the border.
Yeah.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
What have you got there? What are you drinking?
Fred espressos always.
Espresso, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we don't do cheers. We talked about this in the past.
Exactly.
We don't do cheers with coffee.
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't. It's like bad luck. Jinx. We don't want it.
We'll just do this and drink. So we're here in Pagrati. We're in a nice cafe here. And it's the middle of winter. It's January.
Yeah.
And it's sunshine. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it's sun. The sun is out. There's no clouds today. No clouds. Perfect weather for a chat.
Yeah, it's like Greek weather during winter.
Yeah.
Like blue sky, maybe a couple of clouds, maybe, and a bit of cold. This is winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope I didn't rush you to get here because you were saying, oh, I'm running late.
Yeah.
I'm driving. She was sending me voice messages.
Yeah.
But I was trying to say, it's okay, relax. We've got plenty of time today.
Yeah. I have a thing with like being
On time.
on time. Yeah, I respect other people's time.
Yeah.
That's why I want them to respect mine also.
Yeah, sure.
That's why every time I try to be on time, but traffic
always
in
work,
Greece, traffic in Athens, morning. Yeah, and thankfully Elias was like calm, chill, so perfect. Thank you.
I try to be a good host and help people, not stress out, yeah. Before we get into any of that,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about your Greek. You were raised in Greece, born in Greece.
Yeah.
What part of Greece are you from? Let's talk about that first.
Okay.
Because us Greeks, we want to know these things. I don't know why we always ask these questions.
Okay. Yeah. No.
We always ask these questions,
Yeah,
don't we?
obviously. Yeah, especially in the village, my village, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we do. I was born and raised in Greece. I was born in Thessaloniki. I was living there the first years of my life because my parents used to work there, and then we moved to Athens. So let's say most of my childhood and the rest of the years of my life, I'm living in Athens. But my parents, my dad is from a village in northern Macedonia, close to Kozani, and my mom is from Peloponnese, Nemea.
How much of your time as a child was spent in the countryside and how much of it was spent in the city? Was it half-half? 50-50?
Of course, like Christmas, Easter, and summer, I was visiting the villages.
Yep.
And north, like close to Kozani, my village, Trigoniko. I was going there when we had more time, because like from Athens, my village is around 5 hours. So we need at least to have 2 days to be there.
Ooh.
So for sure, Christmas and Easter and summer, I was going there. But the other village that is like in Peloponnese is like 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Closer.
Yeah, so maybe I was going like weekend after weekend, let's say twice per month when I was young.
Aside from those places, where do you like to go in Greece?
Okay.
Or is it
Nice
just different
question.
every time, or is there a place that you like to go to regularly?
Depending on the mood. Like me, I like both mountain and the sea.
Right.
It's not only, it's summer I go to the sea. Sure, I'll go, but I can combine both. For example, when it's August, that in Athens it's like 40, 42 Celsius,
Yeah.
it's hectic. And even in the islands, even though it's like at the sea, you're like on the beach, it's hot. So
it is.
this period of time I prefer to go north.
Right.
To the villages that are in the mountains, and you
Yeah.
can see waterfalls if you want to swim. You
Beautiful,
can see lakes. So you have options to swim if you want,
Yeah.
but it's not that hot, like you're not dying.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, so depending on the season and the mood. So for sure I go during August, like north. I go to the islands. I try every year to go to a different one because we have a lot. So I try to go to every year is a different island because I also work, so I cannot live the whole summer. But
Yeah.
when I have like my days off, I prefer to choose different islands.
Different island, a new
Yeah.
experience, because every island is different. It's
Exactly.
almost maybe not a new country, but it's a whole new area. new patron saint, new churches, new culture, new food specialties,
Exactly.
new dishes,
And I have done the thing that I
music.
went exactly a lot of things.
dialects.
Yeah. And since you say that, once I've been in the same place 2 times. Both were good, but it was totally different. It's totally different. Every time it's not the same as the first time. For sure you're gonna have fun, but it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to change. And then I go to the places that I know, the familiar ones, like I told you, in my village, in small villages, in August, normally. Because I really love meeting people in villages, in small communities.
And sometimes I find if you go to those places, after coming from a big city, you need a few days or a week to adjust to the slow pace.
Yeah.
That's why you can't go for 1-2 days.
Exactly.
You need a bit of time.
Exactly.
Which a lot of people
The
make that
first
mistake,
days-
in my opinion. You know?
Yeah, in the first days you cannot adapt. You cannot adjust like in
Just
the environment.
press the button.
You
It
cannot.
doesn't work
I don't
like
know anyone that does that. If these people exist, bravo.
Yeah.
I cannot. Like I need at least 2 to 3 days to get to the point that I'm like slowing my pace.
It's like when you're coming to a red light, you
Exactly.
don't just stop. You slow
Exactly.
down, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
I had a friend that used to say that people take like 1 week off, but no, this should be illegal. People should take 2 weeks off because the first week is a just and the second week is a real holidays. I'm like, okay.
It's true.
Okay.
If we can vote, I'm voting for that. I'm happy to vote.
Exactly.
So growing up in Athens,
Yeah.
mainly, Thessaloniki. How old were you when you left Thessaloniki?
I was very young. I was around 4, so I don't have
So you don't.
memories.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a lot of relatives there,
Yeah.
and because I was the first child, let's say, of the whole group of
Right,
relatives,
right.
they say that I was
You're the
very
favorite.
spoiled. I was the favorite. Yeah.
The
So
golden
every time-
child, right? Yeah.
Exactly, the golden child. So growing up, when I was going there, it was always
Yeah.
Thea, like I'm
Right.
coming.
Awesome.
Yeah, come.
And is it still like that when you go back?
Yeah.
Greeks are interesting people. We love them. You're a Greek teacher now, right? So when you look back now, do you think you were a good student at school?
No. I'm very competitive as a person, but I try to, slow it down. I was very competitive as a person, and when I
So
had
you always
an
had it in
idea,
you. You always like this.
yeah, and when I have an idea, no matter the cost, I want to do that. So I remember I was like in the first year of the primary school, and I watched a series which wasn't even a Greek series, and one of the children in the series was wearing white gloves, and I'm like, wow, white gloves? I want to wear them at school too. So I'm like, I asked, what's the only occasion that you can wear white gloves at school? And it's like, you know what? When you become Simeophoros is someone who brings the flag, is in the final classes of the primary school.
During a march.
Exactly.
holding the flag, right?
Yeah, but it's the one that has the top, let's say, grades from all the school, let's say. Okay.
The
And in
honor.
the class
You're given the honor of holding the
exactly.
flag, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, I want that.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it was that.
The gloves, not for, not for anything else.
Exactly.
right?
I don't know if it was that.
But it started it, yeah.
Or if I always wanted to be good.
Yeah.
So I remember that in my brain somehow it made the connection.
Yeah.
You are good if you're a good student. And because my parents were always trying to teach us things. Every time, like we never studied with our parents.
Right.
I say we because I have a sister too.
Yeah.
So we never studied with our parents. They were like, do you need help? No, I can do it alone. Perfect, okay, do it alone.
Are people born with a hunger to succeed and be competitive, or is it something you learn in life? Or both, I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it something in the DNA? Is it something that you're born with?
I don't know. There's something that you're born with, to be honest. I believe that your upbringing and your environment plays an important role to that.
Yeah. I also think a lot of people, if they go through something very difficult in life, even
Yeah.
if they weren't competitive before,
Yep.
maybe it wakes up something inside
Yep.
of them. I don't know. 'Cause
And-
I've seen examples of it.
Me too, and I admire these people. I'm saying like in a
good way, yeah.
in a good way,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
I respect and admire people that have difficulties in their lives, and they didn't like fall, and they didn't say, okay, I'm done.
That's
but
it.
they're like,
That's
and
right.
now they're like, okay, I'm gonna try harder
right.
now.
That's right.
This is my mentality. This is what I try to do also in my life, and I really, really respect these people.
I'm the same, and I've found that ever since I've been acting this way and chasing goals and dreams, it's almost like there's no other way to live.
Exactly.
I can't go back the other way. It's
Yeah.
not possible.
Exactly.
Do you feel the same? Yeah.
Yeah, and for me it was.
It seems like it gives you purpose in life.
Yeah, it gives. I believe that, we cannot be absolute and talk about everyone.
No.
But like my experience, I was lucky because, as I told you, my upbringing was like that.
Yeah.
So like try the best that you can, and first you have responsibility and then you have rights. So your responsibilities need to be first complete and
Yes,
done and everything, and then. So this was my upbringing, sure. But also because I also had, and still have, and I believe everyone has that, difficulties.
Somewhere, yeah, of course.
You need to do that. It was like waking up from a bubble. When you're young, your parents are like, yeah, everyone is like, you need to be respectful and everyone is good and we all want the best of you and blah blah blah. And yes, people exist that are good and everything, but life, I believe, is a constant fight.
Yeah,
not you get what I mean,
Yes,
like
yes,
metaphorical.
yes. Yeah.
That every time, not a lot, not less, depending on your energy, your mood, where you wanna be, you need to try and you need to be grateful that I'm awake, I'm alive today.
Yes,
So
yes.
okay, let's try, and we'll see no matter the result. But at least I try.
It's an interesting discussion, and the reason I bring it up is because I think about it all the time, and I meet people and I ask them because it's interesting to me to see what's going on inside here in other people.
Yeah.
And some people say to me, "We're all going to go to the same place anyway.
Yeah.
What does it matter if you succeed or not?" Which is interesting, right? And then there are other people that are saying, Well, they don't actually admit to this, a lot of these people, but they are chasing goals and chasing dreams. It's almost as though they're doing it so that they don't think about anything bad in their life. It's like a way to forget. They're always keeping their mind occupied so they don't think about bad things in their life. It's almost like different people are doing things for different reasons. But for me, for example, I don't know if you agree, I want to be able to say when I'm older in life that I tried.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Everything has to do.
If I fail or succeed is a different story, but if I don't even try, to me it's like...
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly. This is what I wanted to tell you. It's
don't want
like,
that,
I don't know, like my thinking was always like that. I don't know if it was my studies in classics and philosophy and this stuff.
And
or
the success and the failure at the end, by the way, for me is more about if you believe you can. It's a different thing. I'm just talking about, okay.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to ask you. It's like it has to do with what is the meaning of success for each person. Success for me would be to work 3 hours per day, live in the countryside, and also have my chickens and my sheep and everything. Cool. It's success. For you, success might be something else.
True.
So it has to do with like individual success. What do you think that a success is, and then try to achieve it. Because exactly, we all, at the end, we all end up in the same place. Whichever is that. Sure, it is. But for me, the thing that makes you happy is to have in your mind what is success for you and try to achieve it. And this might change. Doesn't mean that Elias, Elias 10 years ago wanted to be a singer, for example. He did, or he didn't, but now he doesn't want to be a singer anymore.
That's right.
Cool. So it has to do with the period of your life.
It's dynamic, it's not static, it's dynamic, it changes,
Exactly.
Did you want to be a Greek teacher when you were little? When I get older, I want to be a Greek teacher. No.
Cool. No.
What did you want to be?
You laugh. Okay, when I was young, I wanted to be fashion designer because I was designing dresses and everything. I was good at it.
Sketching,
they say,
drawing,
or combo, singer and dancer together.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to dance school and
very artistic.
Very.
Options.
So in general, my brain is half artistic, creative. That's why I do the things that I do, and half practical. It's not one thing. But after some years, I remember that when I was young, I was teaching my sister. And I had forgot. This was completely deleted
You're
from my
older than
brain.
your sister, right?
Yeah, I'm
So you're
older.
teaching her.
And I had, where is the windows in the house? I decided that I don't have a whiteboard, so I need to invent one. So I took markers and I wrote on the window to explain to my sister. And my mom came in and like,
what are you doing? You're ruining my house.
exactly.
Yeah.
I needed a board. So this was somehow in my brain.
Yeah.
And my thinking was always, I try to explain to you what I want and what I need. Like, the way that I'm thinking is like that. So I believe somehow my life's route brought me here. It was in me, but I wasn't aware of that.
Because one of the questions I asked another guest of mine, Konstantinos Sinodino, was, do you think you chose the road or did the road choose you?
Both.
Both, interesting.
For me, it's both. All people, I believe that everyone has a path. But which path has to do with the momentum and the choices. Like for me, I have done 1 million other jobs in my life. Different, really different. Marketing, PR, communication, teaching. A lot. Okay. I didn't know when I was working in marketing that I would have done that in my life. It was my life choices, good or bad, with pros and cons. It's not only pros that brought me here. And again, from here, I don't know where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
It's both.
It's both.
Yeah.
It's a combination.
Yeah. This is
interesting
what I
answer.
What do you think?
That makes sense to me. Very logical what you said. You know, people believe in fate.
Yeah.
It's a bit metaphysical discussion, but
No, I love this.
I think you make your own road because the world is so challenging that if you don't think that way, you can't reach your goals. So I've come to a point in my life where I say to myself, I need to make the path, because if a tree appears in my road, I have to find a way to go around it. Or if a rock appears, I have to go around it.
Exactly.
But to be perfectly honest, I think what you're saying is probably more accurate. It's just that I need to believe that.
You know what?
So I don't
I believe
lose the battle, you know.
Yeah, it's both.
It's both.
Because people have the need, I personally believe, that I have the need to believe that it's something higher than me. That helps in a way.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that gives me motivation.
That's right.
But as ancient Greek said, sin Athena και χείρα κίνη, meaning that you cannot expect everything from God, so from a higher power, and not also everything from yourself. It's somewhere in the middle, like with the help of Athena, goddess, but also with your own hand, hira. So something in the middle, I believe, and as my grandmother used to say, μέχρι εκεί που φτάνει το καντήλι σου. Καταλαβες? Until you're like the candle of yours, still on, still lighted.
I love these old Greek sayings. And I hadn't heard sin Athena και χείρα κίνη. Kini, what's kini?
Kinao, like move. Metakinao.
Like kini, we say like movement, kini.
Exactly.
Kini.
It's like move your hand also, like act without sin. Sin. Yeah, Athena.
With Athena,
like
one of the goddess.
Yeah, whatever you think as a god. Could be God, could be universe,
like
could
in
be
English, you know, the Christian way to say it is God helps those who help themselves.
Exactly.
So anyway, let's talk a little bit about your Greek teaching now.
Everyone.
You're doing very well on social media, you're succeeding, it's clear you're working very hard, you're uploading content every day, I can't keep up. You're obviously working very hard.
Thank you.
What gives you the most pleasure from being a Greek teacher?
Again, it's a combo. It's a combo of two things. Firstly, I feel happy when I see other people be happy. And when someone is learning something, like you, I told you now a phrase that you might have heard, you might knew, whatever. You were happy that you were like, good. I am happy that you know that now. So this brings me happiness.
Right.
A lot.
When you said that saying before and now I've saved it, it's
exactly
because you've given value.
Exactly. For me, it's like offering something. Okay, that is not mine to offer. You get what I mean? I'm the messenger, let's say. Okay. So firstly, that brings me happiness to see other people being happy because of the things that I'm telling them.
Yeah.
Which in this case is my language. And for me, the language is not only a language, it's my country. And my country, again, is like more than a country. It's like their people, their customs, their idioms, you know, the traditions, everything. And all of that in Greek language, they're there. They're depicted in the language. Really proven depicted in the language. Firstly that, and second, that the thing that I'm doing with the language, that I'm teaching a language that I love. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to teach more than that. I'm trying in every class to combine ancient Greek and say, why is that modern Greek? Or some custom, some tradition, something that had to do with that. And also bringing people together.
Yeah.
I love that. This is an aspect that
You're
I
creating
really
a community.
love. Exactly. Like all my students have chats. They have one chat for online students, one chat for in-person students, chat for my
Where everyone's a
courses.
member and you can just talk with each other.
Exactly, because the thing is that you all connected because you're all learning a language.
And there's a common interest,
exactly. Let's meet, guys. Let's meet.
When I was growing up, I was raised in a Greek family, but in a family where one parent spoke English, very good English, and one parent spoke Greek, very good Greek. And I remember hearing, and not just from my parents or whatever, from family, from people would say to me, "After Alexi, this word is this, but it comes from this ancient Greek word or from these two ancient Greek words." And for some reason, I found it fascinating because it gave that other word meaning. It gave it substance. It gave it something to hold on to, you know?
Exactly.
So I used that mentality, and then I would see other words in the future, Greek words, and then I would use that mentality and that mechanism to decipher what the new word is. Moving forward with my life, I'd say, "Oh, there's a new word. Oh, I can see two words there, and I can see that idra. That's the Greek word for nero, or ipo. That's underneath. Or, you know, so enjoying that. And it means this metaphysical, metaphysics.
Exactly.
After the physical, after
It's quite amazing,
just
right?
it just opens up a whole new world.
Exactly.
I'm Greek. I don't know ancient Greek, but I know Greek, modern Greek.
Yep.
Right? How long would it take me to be able to learn ancient Greek through you, to be able to read an ancient Greek tragedy or a play or a comedy, ancient Greeks from beginning to end and understand it?
You're two topics now you mentioned.
topics,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
If you know how to read modern Greek,
Yeah.
you know how to read ancient Greek. Done.
I can read the words,
Yeah.
but I don't know what I'm reading. That's the problem, right?
But then you don't know what you're reading. So
don't know what
yeah.
I'm reading,
So
yeah.
for reading, you can do.
Right.
If you know modern Greek, you can read ancient Greek.
Yes.
And the opposite. That's okay.
Yeah, because I can see the letters.
Exactly.
I know what to say,
Exactly.
what comes out of
And
my mouth,
mostly
right?
in Greek is mostly okay. What you see, you read.
Right, yes.
So
yes,
if you
that's
know it, it's okay.
Yeah.
To be able to understand this depends, because the magic of ancient Greek is that depending on the type of the text, if it's a philosophical, if it's a political one, you can have one or two different meanings,
Oh.
depending on the way that you read it. Okay, especially in philosophical texts, you know, might have a different translation. Not everything, but you can translate one word with three words in modern Greek. Okay, depends, always. Ancient Greek is mostly to know the differences in grammar and syntax. It's the same as modern Greek, but it's more flourished, let's say.
Is it?
Yeah.
More colours.
Yeah, so you need to know the different variations of the words.
Okay.
Okay.
There's still masculine, feminine,
It is,
neuter,
of
right?
course.
Or ito.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay.
But there is another case, let's say, the dative, let's say.
Right.
This is another case that we use it. The syntax might be a little bit more complicated, and some words that we use in modern Greek, in ancient Greek, might have two meanings, not only one.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
yeah,
So 6 months?
depending how hard you study.
I can't get an answer.
Yeah, because
Okay.
yes, depending how hard you study.
How important is social media to your business?
Very important. I would say very important. I
Yeah.
believe in every business nowadays. It's very
Every business, not just your business, right?
Yeah. But for me, it started like as a hobby. You know, I did that like 3 years ago. Now, 2.5.
Teaching Greek.
Yeah, the social media.
Just social
of
media.
Teaching Greek.
Of teaching Greek,
Yeah,
right?
because I was teaching Greek like since 2011 in Greeks,
Yeah.
and 2014 Greek as a foreign. So I do that a lot of years now.
Right.
11. But 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I decided to, okay, let's use social media Greek tips, teaching Greek. You know?
So you weren't doing any Greek though, teaching on social media
No,
before 2021 or whatever.
No.
Just your personal life and
Exactly. And because I wasn't so like fan of social media, it was like a normal personal profile.
Using it as a consumer, not a creator.
Exactly. But then I'm like, you know what? I now have an idea, 4 ways to say that. Why I'm not sharing that? Okay, let's try to share that. And this is how it started. Was not the best. I'm very shy in front of the camera. Still, I have my problems. You see what I'm doing here? Like I'm playing with that. So, yeah. But my brain was like, you started something. I remember what I told you. When you put a goal, set a goal, finish it.
Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm like, you started that. Even if it's one person that liked it and wants to learn more, you have the responsibility to do that. This is how I was raised. Okay. So keep doing, and. Thankfully, I have people that they stay there. They're like, they don't come and go. I don't pay for followers. I never did. I don't mind if I have 5. If I have like 100. I need the people that are there to really like what I'm doing. For me, it's value.
Yeah.
So.
But social media is an important part of your business, right? In 2025, it has to be.
Exactly.
Are you finding with your Greek lessons now, people, not just Greeks from overseas, and not just children here in Greece, but also non-Greeks want to learn?
Yes, of course.
What's your percentage with Greeks versus non-Greeks learning Greek?
I would have said that in the past there were mostly Greeks that were living abroad and they want to learn. But now the last 2 years, I suppose, it kind of become 60-40.
60-40.
60 the Greeks and the 40.
That's quite a high percent.
Yeah.
High percentage.
High percentage.
And what's the challenge of teaching someone Greek that's never spoken it, that's not from a Greek background? What's the challenge there, the biggest challenge? Is it the same or is there...
I'll tell you, for me, there is always the same. I don't go with a different perspective than the students that come from Greek families and the students that don't. I have the same teaching style, but to the people that do not have anything, don't have to do anything with Greek, they don't have Greek family, Greek friends, sometimes I need to explain more about the culture, so they need to get into the vibe, why we do that, how do we say that.
Because you can't just separate the language from the culture. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
They're united.
The Greeks that are they have Greek friends, or there are Greeks from a different, generation and everything. They have an idea. That doesn't mean that they know everything. Because things have changed in modern Greece, a lot, and the phrases and the slang and everything. So, again, I need to explain more. But let's say cultural-wise, they have
one extra step.
Exactly. So that in the other people, I need to explain more. But I have come to the understanding that we have a lot of similarities with other countries. So this is also fun because when I'm explaining something, they say, we do the same. Or we do almost the same. And this is amazing.
That connects,
Exactly. This is amazing.
When people reach out to you to learn Greek, what are the reasons mainly? Because I have a Greek husband or a Greek wife, or is it because I want to come to Greece and talk to people, or because I want to get a certificate, or because my job is demanding it? What's the main reason people want to learn Greek who are not Greek?
That are not Greek.
Well, give me a couple of reasons.
If they're not Greeks and they don't have to do with Greece at all, it's mostly they have a person in their life that is Greek, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend. Firstly that, and secondly because they work, they're going to move, or they visit a lot Greece. So basically travelers or expats. Okay. And also, people that have relationships.
What are some good tricks or tools you use to help people learn parts of the Greek language? Like, for example, a friend of mine, he helps a friend of his from another country learn parts of Greece or the Greek language by getting that person to try to cook something in using the Greek recipe, but with Greek writing, because that person enjoys cooking.
Exactly.
Is there something you do similar?
Yeah.
Do you use different ways, different tricks
Yeah.
or tools to help people learn Greek?
Yeah, of course I do, and depends on the level, because
Yeah.
this is a very cool thing that he did. Your friend, I do that also, but this depends. We start from that your friend, the person that wants to learn Greek, knows how to read.
Yeah,
but
right,
knows how to
yeah,
read.
yeah, that's true.
You get what I mean? So it depends on the
Depends on the
stage
level,
and the
yeah,
level, but for sure, if it's a beginner, for example, that doesn't know anything, I try to find context to put the words in.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
especially with phrases.
Exactly.
Like, I want to teach you this phrase, for example, "Kala kanis." How do I translate that in English? Doesn't make sense. You do well.
Yeah.
But if I put it in the context, then you can remember that. That's why we offer a trial lesson, because the trial lesson in the beginning is not only to meet each other, but to evaluate the needs. If Elias can read, what Elias likes, what your goals, and what's the time frame that you want to achieve. So by the time that you finish the trial lesson and you would like to enroll, I know what you need to have in your class, and I create the lessons plan based on that.
I'll tell you one thing, Maria. When I went to school, I had many different lessons. There was physics, there was biology, there was chemistry, I had Greek as well, there was mathematics. I always struggled when I had a teacher who felt like, to me, he didn't want to be there or she didn't want to be there. When the teacher was passionate about, like you are, it makes you want to learn as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had. I think for our generation,
Yeah.
I'm a bit older than you. You're younger, but you know, teachers at school, it was like their job.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like they were passionate. Some were. There were exceptions. And it seems like if you can find a teacher, you know, like yourself, you know, I'm not your student, but if you find a teacher that's passionate about teaching their kids, their students,
Yeah. You're
it's
so right, Elias.
because it makes me want to come back to the classroom or the tuition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right. I had teachers that were like seeing that they're hating what they're doing.
Yeah.
But they might have the reasons, I don't know.
yeah.
They might not. I'm not gonna judge that. But
But it plays a role, that's what we're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I was very lucky to have two teachers, one that did algebra and then chemistry and
Yeah.
physics,
Yeah.
all three. I loved him.
Right.
I studied everything. I wrote in the exams 20, which in Greek 20 is
Yeah,
the highest. And then
Not because
in
you love their
Latin.
subjects. You might have loved their subjects, but you love the teacher.
The teacher,
Yeah.
the perspective, and I find myself
passion for
using
teaching, yeah.
exactly not the same, but I'm inspired of their techniques.
The Greek language is spoken by a handful of people in the world, right? Greece, Cyprus, and Greeks outside of Greece, right?
Diaspora.
But it still is a population that's pretty small for a language that's been around for so long. Is the Greek language in danger, considering that English is taking over the world, especially the Western world, and there's Greeklish now, and even Greeks are writing with Latin characters,
Yep.
and the next generation, they know Greek because they're in Greece, but they're starting to learn English. The songs are beginning to be in.
Yeah.
Is the Greek language in danger?
I love to hate this topic, just so you know. As a philologist, like my whole life is all about Greek.
Yeah. And we need to be positive, but it's good to talk about these things too,
Yeah. I have this conversation a lot with my friends. It's true that it's only a small part of the world speaks this language, okay, inside and outside of Greece. It's true there is a difficult language to learn, in depth if you weren't born here and, taught that as a child. And it's also true that younger generation replace Greek words with English, both in speaking and writing.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes the good thing that we did in Greek is we combine English and Greek together. We take the English word, Google, and at the ending, aro, googlaro.
Googlaro.
So we kind of make it a
Made
Greek.
it a verb, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of make
I'm
it Greek.
Googling, googlaro.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Greekling.
With an omega on the end, of course. right?
Exactly, because it's a verb,
It's a
eh?
verb.
That's why
At
I'm
least
telling-
that's correct, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I'm telling you we combine.
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if saying it's in danger is very absolute word.
Yeah.
But I believe there is gonna be an evolution in the language.
Yeah,
As I
yeah.
told you, maybe organism.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's going to be extinct.
Okay.
Because there are people that are still learning that, and want to learn more, and there are like people in the universities that try to learn from the beginning and everything.
Okay.
But for sure, I believe, especially the younger generations, will replace a lot of the words.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that for sure there is a change.
That's why what you're doing is so important, because you're spreading the language, more seeds.
Yeah.
So more trees can grow.
Exactly.
Right?
And imagine people from other countries speak Greek, and Greeks know. Wow, that's amazing. To me, that's amazing, because language is not always related with the person. You can be from Australia, no Greek roots at all, but you speak Greek. Amazing.
Yeah.
You speak Greek.
Yeah.
So the more seeds, exactly.
Okay.
It's the more flowers, let's say, you're gonna get later. And this is very important.
Tell me about your course, new course. You were very excited the other day.
Yeah, I am.
Telling me about it, and I just saw you post about it.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Okay, look, I was thinking for a long time to create a course that will cover 2 levels in Greek. The beginners, that for me are the most demanding one, because you don't have any clue, and you're like throw yourself into that, and you need to like start navigate the language.
So you're like a beginner.
Exactly, total, absolute.
Total
You don't
beginner.
even know how to read, write, speak, nada, nothing.
Right, nothing. Okay.
Yeah. So after like all these years, I have developed my technique of teaching the beginners. I don't believe in memorizing. I believe that memorizing is good when there is no other option. So I tried to create a mind map in order to be able to connect the most important grammar and syntax in Greek.
Okay.
Meaning that if you know one thing, you can connect the other and the other and the other, and you don't need to learn by heart tons of things, but you just summarize and add or drop things.
Is this something that hasn't been done before? You've designed it from the ground up by yourself.
Yeah. And I took the most important things that have to do with grammar and syntax, which is basically the terror of everyone that starts learning Greek. It's like grammar and syntax, what is that? I totally understand. So I tried to combine everything and create a mind map to simplify it for people that have to learn that, but they think it's very difficult and not memorize them. Because if you're a beginner, to be honest, a lot of people say, you just learn how to speak. Sure. But in order to learn how to speak, you need to know basic grammar. Because there is not that you mispronounce words or you forget a word. The things that you say won't make sense if you don't put it in the right case or the right order. I won't understand what you're talking about. So for beginners, it's very important to have grammar and syntax like as the basic foundations.
Before
and then, exactly, and then they flourish it. So this course is a mind map to the most important grammar and syntax in past, present, future, everything, and also creating sentences. At the end, it has small dialogues.
Because that's something when you're learning a language, you learn words.
But how do you connect them?
The words.
Exactly. Like I can know how to say apple, tree, drink, coffee, but how I'm gonna say I drink a coffee and then I eat an apple? This in Greek is a very important syntax and very important structure that you need to know from the beginning. So as levels going up, you just flourish them up. And I took these, put them in my own technique, my own mind map, and I also added vocabulary sets, complementary, and exercises in that, and at the end phrases and dialogues, so you know not only to read, write, but also creating sentences. Like at the end of the course, you're A2, the beginning A2 level.
And how long will it take a course? Depends how much time you want.
Exactly, but it's 24 units.
It's self-paced,
right? It's 24 units. So if you study twice per week, it's 3 months, I think.
Wow, wonderful.
If you do one, it's 6 months. It's like a whole course. Like you can have a live teacher, sure, but if you're not the person that prefers live and you cannot commit in live classes because of your work, because of your schedule, take that, do it at your own time, and then when you're ready, you can, let's go to the next one.
Wonderful.
So it was a dream.
It's a great idea. You've got your own course out there. I imagine at some point you'll make another course for the next level.
Yeah,
Right.
I will.
You
I
just
will
finished it
add
slowly,
small,
slowly.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I will add small
Amazing.
parts and
Yeah.
then I'll do the next.
How do people find you if they want to reach you? On Instagram you are?
On Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok,
GreekMyMind? On
GreekMyMind.
all the platforms?
Yeah, in our website, GreekMyMind.com.
And if someone wants to buy your course, it's on the website, right?
It's on the website, it's on my link in bio on Instagram, and it's also on elearning.greekmymind.com.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Maria, thank you so much.
Ευχαριστώ.
Awesome catching up. Okay.
Thank you. It's always a
We'll
pleasure,
catch
you
up for
know.
another coffee soon.
Of course, whenever you want. And
Bye-bye.
also food.
Wonderful. Bye-bye from Pagrati, from Athena.
Bye. Thank you.